Yeah, well, actually, we are still waiting to see what the official list of ministers will look like. But we do, as you mentioned, appear to be nearing the end of a long period of uncertainty. It's been 2.5 months since legislative elections were held here in France. On Friday, Michel Barnier handed over that final list of 38 names to President Macron. Prime Minister says he hopes to unveil his government before Sunday, so it could be today, it could be in the next few hours. But there does appear to be some fine-tuning still going on. In terms of hurdles, nominees need to be vetted by the High Authority for Transparency in Public Life. This is a body that ensures the nominees have no conflicts of interest, that they've paid their taxes, for example. This is all customary. As for the names that have come out in French media reports, all except one appear to come from the centre and the right. So it's very likely we'll see fresh faces in key offices of state, including in foreign, finance and interior ministries. As you just heard there, Jean-Noël Barrot reportedly being considered as foreign minister. He's currently Europe minister. 33-year-old Antoine Armand, a rising star from Macron's own parliamentary grouping, considered for finance minister. But very significantly, Bruno Retailleau, leader of the Republicans in the Senate. Of course, the Republicans is Michel Barnier's own party, could land the post of interior minister. The current holder of that post, Gérald Darmanin, confirming that he won't stay in the post. That's a very important portfolio, of course, because the Interior Minister controls police and domestic security. Immigration, of course, very high on the agenda. So that would be a big coup for the Republicans if they land that post, bearing in mind, of course, they came fourth in the legislative elections.
Now, we have had a fair few names leaked to the media in the past few days. We have a decent idea of the lineup of this cabinet. Who among those names are the most contentious potential appointees?
Well, actually, I'm going to give you just a couple of names in a moment. It does indeed look like this government lineup will mark a shift to the right. So there's been a lot of criticism that this cabinet doesn't include enough politicians from across the political spectrum to create a real government of national unity, if you like. So there's anger within the ranks of the left coalition, the New Popular Front, of course, that grouping that came first in legislative elections. It doesn't look like they're going to get any representation in this cabinet. So we've seen calls for protest today from key figures in that coalition, expecting between 20 and 40,000 protesters on the streets of Paris alone and some other cities across France too. Now, the presence of two names in particular in that lineup has caused unease amongst members of President Macron's own centrist alliance. So on the one hand, as I mentioned earlier, Bruno Retailleau being considered as minister for the post of Minister of the Interior. Now, he's seen as a very conservative figure, far too conservative for some who say that he isn't a unifying figure, so that could provoke people on the left. And another name in particular, Laurence Garnier, she's a senator for the Republicans, being considered reportedly as Families Minister. Now, her name is controversial because she was opposed to same-sex marriage. She was also opposed to the inscription of the right to abortion in France's constitution. Now, there are rumours in French media that President Macron has ruled her out as Families Minister. We know earlier this week there were tensions between President Macron and Michel Barnier over the makeup of the new government. Those tensions appear to have been resolved. Now we're just waiting to find out what the official list of ministers will look like.